I guess we'll get started if that's all right with
Mm-hmm.
everyone. For those of you who weren't here a few months ago while we're testing out the technology, my name's Keir Whitaker. I work on the Shopify partners team. I'm joined by my colleague Levin, and we'll be over the next hour going through a whole bunch of things with you. You can see the slide deck that Levin's just going to post up there for you right now. 8 things we'll be looking at, starting off with why build for the Shopify platform and rounding out with resources and next steps. And in between, Levin will guide you through an overview of the admin if you're not familiar with the Shopify platform. We'll look at how to build a Shopify theme, the theme structure, some of the special files in there, such as the theme layout file. We'll spend quite a bit of time looking at Liquid, and if you're not familiar with Liquid, that's the template language used within Shopify themes. It's also open source, so you may have used it in other projects, things like Jekyll. It's very nice, very easy to read, and super powerful as well. We'll discuss the open source Shopify theme framework called Timber, and look at how theme settings are super flexible to allow your clients, the people using the store, to change things on the fly. And we'll touch on how to make money with Shopify. There are various ways that our existing partners are really thriving within the ecosystem. So I'm going to keep an eye out on the answers of the questions in what resembles the chat, and I'll also be posting some links in here as well, so keep an eye out for those. And we'll record this, so if you have to duck out or for whatever reason can't stay for the whole webinar, we'll send you a link to the recording of this video within the next few days, along with all the links from the session as well. All being well, we'll have about 10 minutes for Q&A at the end. This could be interesting. There's a lot of you online now, 217, so hopefully we'll have some questions. And but rest assured that anything that's not answered, we'll take a copy of and then either round it out in a blog post on our partner blog or in our email following this. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Levin, who's going to take you through those 8 points over the next 45 minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Keir. I'm just going to close down the presentation for one quick second. We have some couple of hands raised that were up earlier. I'm just going to close them all down so everyone can see. So that way, towards the end, we'll be able to answer those questions, get a fresh view of that. So, again, Keir, thank you for the introductions. Like Keir said, my name is Levin Mejia. I am a designer advocate with Shopify. And over the next 45 minutes, we're going to spend time looking at developing Shopify themes. So let's get started. All right, so why build for Shopify? Well, Shopify is a huge community, and it now powers over 200,000 active shops. There are always merchants looking for theme experts to install their first theme on their first shop. Maybe make modifications to it with the holiday season coming up. A lot of merchants are looking for theme experts to make some changes to their theme, to their store. So again, these are just a couple of examples here that you're seeing on the screen. Herschel is a company that uses Shopify, beautiful theme here, and you'll see a couple of others as I speak through these. Shopify is really like a blank canvas, so you can really do pretty much anything that you can imagine. As you can see, very dynamic layouts. Here again, we have a product page, very unique as well. So when you're building Shopify themes, you'll be using a lot of HTML and CSS and some JavaScript, something that you're familiar with. And again, this is another example of someone who just won a recent design awards through the Shopify partner competition. Very dynamic website with video and everything. Your clients can host any type of shop, whether it's clothing, apparel, digital goods. For example, we have Smashing Magazine that uses us, so you can buy digital books as well. And again, you can even sell furniture. This is someone who is selling furniture currently at the moment. And as you can see, every site is very dynamic because Shopify does really give you that ability to really design anything that you really imagine. We're going to be using HTML, CSS, and with some Liquid, we can really make a dynamic Shopify store. So moving forward. So the first thing I really recommend for everyone to do, if you're not signed up as a Shopify partner, is to sign up for a Shopify partner. Again, this is a quick walkthrough of how you can sign up. You don't need to fill out all the information in that form, but just some necessary things like your email and name. And once you get started, it provides you access with development stores. Now, these are really great because they give you the power of a paid Shopify store. So you can do test transactions. All the features within Shopify are enabled for you. So it's really like your sandbox to really create anything that you want or to really try new things. So definitely sign up for a Shopify partner program. Kier will provide you with a link in the chat, or later after this, we'll be sending you an email where you can do just that. Again, and it's completely free, and you don't have to pay anything until you actually maybe hand your theme and your store over to your client. Only then are you required to pay anything. So definitely sign up. It's all for free, and it will give you that ability to build with Shopify. So for those who are new to Shopify, I'm going to do a quick overview of the admin. This is essentially what your clients would see how much traffic they have, their recent orders. That's their homepage. Orders again, we have some products here, kind of what that looks like, that type of layout. This is a very brief overview, just to give you that, just a general overview of what you can do with it. Now, the online store with Shopify, you can host a blog through us. You can even do pages, such as like About Us pages, static pages, themes, something we'll look at a little bit later. You can manage navigation, and when your client is ready to take their store online, they can even have a custom domain that you can install for your theme. So very flexible stuff. And moving forward, we're going to start talking now about building themes. So that's why we're here. So let's get to it. So the first thing we need to learn is the theme structure. And what does that consist of? What kind of files am I going to be working with to build my first theme? Well, this is essentially all the files that we will be using. Again, there will be more. But at the very core of it, we're using a flat file system. And I'll get into that, what that means. We're going to have some core folders, and within those folders, we will have some liquid files. Again, a lot of liquid files might sound new. Maybe if you're a front-end developer or developer now, what you'll come to realize is that there's a lot of HTML sprinkled with some liquid to really make a dynamic site. So let's start from the very top here, and let's look at our layout folder. Now, our layout folder has a theme.liquid file within it. Now, what theme.liquid files are, it's like they're your global file for your entire site. So a change you make here will populate to every page. So let's say you're looking to add Google Analytics to your theme store, or to your theme shop, sorry. You would do that here. Also, if you're looking, let's say, for the holiday season, a lot of merchants are looking to add maybe free shipping once buy something for $50. You want to add that banner to all the pages. This is the place to do it. So moving further down the page here, we have a templates folder. Now, some of these kind of names look familiar, like a 404. You can design that, maybe add a unique message. We have that liquid template file set up for you. Also for an article, for your blog, for your cart page, and your index.liquid page. So your index.liquid is essentially your home page for the entire theme. So one thing to note is that there are more templates, and we'll get into those later. And you can even build your own as well afterwards. We also have snippets. Again, these, for example, we have an Ajax cart template here. You can create your own. And if you use some of our existing themes, there will be some available to you as well. But again, we'll get into that a little bit later. Now our assets file. So this is really where we talk about the flat file type of file system here for our themes. You'll notice that your CSS files, your JavaScript files, and your image files will all be hosted within the assets folder. For example, you can't put an IMG or images folder nested inside the assets folder with your images. It just won't work. Every file kind of exists, every asset exists within your assets folder. So you can even host SVGs here, anything like that. They all kind of go in here. So a couple of other ones to mention. We have the config folder that has two files within it right now. We have a settings_schema.json file. I really do think this is one of the most powerful files for your themes. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then we have a settings_data.json. Below that, we have locales. Again, this is for English, en-default, French, fr.json. So those are things you can modify if your clients require it for their theme and for their shop. So that's a very quick overview of some of the files I'll be working with. So what does that all that mean? Well, how does that URL mapping work? And that kind of helps describe how that template is set up in the theme structure. For example, we saw a 404.liquid template file, and that would really resolve to a broken link. If we look further down this list here, we have a page.liquid file, and that will really take us to our home page. It's just a backslash there. If you're looking to say, okay, what's going to be my URL for my cart? Well, you have a cart.liquid file, but 4 from the top, and that will give us a URL of, let's say, myshop.com/cart. And then again, you can see that there are other ones here. For example, we have a product. How does that work? If we're designing the product page, and something we'll do later, then that URL is going to be /products/product handle. So that will be the product name. So this is just a quick overview to kind of give you an idea of, okay, if I edit these files, this is really how those URLs and how my site and my theme are going to work. Moving forward. All right, let's get into some liquid. This is really what you're going to use to build the backbone of your store for your client. It'll be amazing how much you can see, how much dynamic things you can do with liquid with a few lines of code. So let's get started. Let's look at some of these. We're going to have two elements that are key to liquid: an output and a tag. So don't be scared away with just these two tags. They're really quite simple. So let's look at the first one. We're going to have an output tag. Essentially, this is going to give us like text-based things such as a shop's name. Here, for example, we see that an output tag is handled with two curly brackets, one at the beginning and one at the end, to open and close our liquid tag. And within that, we have a dot syntax. You'll see this a lot. So in this case, we're going to reference our shop and then dot name to reference back the shop's name. It's that easy. Also, we'll be using this type of syntax with our curly brackets to reference style sheets and images as well. So now we move on to our other tag, which it really takes care of the logic. If you're looking to do for loops or if-else statements, you'll be wrapping those within a curly bracket and a percentage sign. Again, it'll be very straightforward. I'll be using some examples in a little bit to kind of explain that to you. But this is really logic to manipulate some of the HTML on your page. So moving forward, again, let's go back and talk about output. So we saw curly brackets. That looks very familiar to us. We have a product.title. So if we were on our product page, we can return our product.title, and that will render HTML for us. So we can wrap that inside an H1 tag, an H2 tag, anything that we're really looking to do within our theme. Then we have a product description that will return a description for our product, again, within the curly brackets. Just a couple more examples that we'll be looking at in just a little bit when I do a live code demo. You can also do some filters. For example, if you're looking to manipulate some of the HTML, for example, we can reference a CSS style sheet, but we can also do other things such as right in the middle, capitalize me. We can do a pipe or like a straight line up and down to capitalize, which is, again, encapsulated within our two curly brackets. Again, that's a quick overview. We'll look into that a little bit later as well. So one thing about assets to know, and it's one of the great things about using Shopify, is that every image, for example, that you host is going to be delivered through a CDN, which is going to make your theme super fast. Also, if you have any CSS, it will also be minified, which is pretty great as well. Just wanted to point that out. Again, one of the benefits that you don't really have to think about, and Shopify will just take care of the rest. All you have to do is just focus on what you're trying to do, and that's make a beautiful theme for your clients. Let's look at some liquid logic. All right, so this is where we get to some of those if-else statements that we talked about earlier. If you're familiar with writing some HTML or some JavaScript or anything like that, or any other programming language, this will look familiar to you. So let's just start here from line 3. We have a curly bracket with a percentage sign, and it's saying, okay, if a product is available, and then we'll close that tag again with a percentage sign curly bracket, then we want to say, okay, show the cart button for our customer, our visitor. Else, again, we'll wrap else within our curly bracket percentage signs. The product is unavailable, and then we close our if statement with end if. It's just that, again, very familiar, just a little bit of different syntax if you've used other programming languages in the past. So let's move on to a little bit more. So now let's really get to some of the core, how we can actually start building it. All right, we got an understanding. I know what kind of tags I'll be using. How does it actually work? What's this type of language? And one way to look at it is that it's still just HTML at its core. We're just sprinkling, like I said earlier, some liquid on top of that HTML to create a dynamic shop for your client. So we have an HTML and a head tag. That's all very familiar to us. But if we look at the title, again, we see something that we saw earlier, and we have the shop.name, so wrapped in those curly brackets. So we already kind of know, okay, that's going to return our shop's name. So if our shop name was My Awesome Shopify Store, that's exactly what's going to return. And then we can also do a page title. And this is really going to be handled by Shopify. When you click on those template files that we looked at earlier, the liquid files, whether you're in a product page, home page, the About Us page, it will dynamically know what to render, which is pretty amazing. Then we have a reference to an asset URL, which is a style sheet. And again, that can be minified. All that can be handled through Shopify. A couple other things to note is that if you're looking to do something unique, you can create your own templates as well. And with that, you can even serve dynamic headers, content, and body content. So at the very top here, you'll see content for header. Again, stylized as content underscore for underscore header. And we see that wrap it in the middle of the body tag as well for dynamic content as well. Shopify really does take care of providing the right content for each liquid file. For example, it knows to serve the homepage content and it knows to serve the product content dynamically by knowing the liquid templating. So again here, just these can be really powerful for you. Definitely look into them a little bit further through our theme documentation. Again, Kara will post some of those links in the chat for you as well. But yeah, just definitely powerful tool in your toolbox. Moving forward, all right, so we got to see familiar, okay, we know what a basic template page looks like. What about a product page? Again, these are really important pages for your clients and for your theme. When a customer visits your store, you definitely want to provide the best possible view for them so that it's easy to read, easy to understand, and learn about that product. And this is what a product page looks like. It's not very complicated. Again, it's still a lot of HTML that we're using. So for example, on line 3, in this example, we have an H2, and inside that we have a product.title. Again, so very simple stuff. I'm like, okay, I just want to bring my product title, put it in my H2 tag. Sure, easy thing. 2 curly brackets, product.title, and then curly bracket, and then we have it. Further down on line 5, we have our product.description wrapped in 2 curly brackets. So we don't have that wrapped in anything right now, but one of the great things again about Shopify is that there's a WYSIWYG editor within the product page. So you can bold content, you can add italics, wrap some product features in a list tag, all that stuff. It will dynamically render beautiful, clean, semantic HTML for you by simply writing that tag. So if you still want to wrap it in something, go ahead. But again, one of the benefits of using the Shopify platform. And again, this is a form. If you're a developer, this looks very familiar. All right, we kind of see that we have a select, so that's going to give us a drop down of our product variants. So what are variants? If you're new to Shopify, that's, let's say, if you're selling a t-shirt, you have a small, a medium, and a large. Well, those are variants, and those variants can have their own unique pricing as well, depending on what product you're selling. So in this case, we're going to do a for variant in my products.variants. If they are available to us, show us the option. Else, then give us a notice of saying, okay, this variant title, let's say maybe it was a t-shirt small or medium, it's sold out. And then your customer knows that they can't buy it. It's out of stock. Then we close it with that end if and their end for loop. Again, inside our select tag. And then within our form, we say, okay, here's our add to cart button. So again, if we were familiar with HTML, this will look very familiar. It's just now we're on the kind of understanding, okay, what kind of tags and what kind of logic in liquid syntax that we need to use to do some of that stuff. Again, there's a lot of great documentation where you can just copy and paste a lot of this code as well. So you can really just focus on building your theme. So moving forward, again, I just want to talk about liquid snippets. This is something we saw earlier. And these are also known as partials and includes. So if you have some experience with PHP, you'll be familiar with includes. And it kind of works the exact same way here. So in your snippets folder, in your theme folder, you can create a header.liquid. And inside that, you can also put in your header, my h1 shop.name, curly bracket, close it with our h1 tag. And this will create a liquid tag for us. If we want to include that, for example, that type of snippet within our product page or anything like that, this is how we go about including it. We do our curly bracket, percentage sign, include, our header, and then our percentage sign and curly bracket to close it off. And you include that pretty much anywhere. So just want to bring out some of the really powerful tools you can start using to really build on a dynamic theme for your store and for your clients. So, all right, that's awesome. So now I think it's time for a code demo. Like, how does this actually work in practice? So I'm just going to shut down my presentation here. And I'm going to go to my partners page. So once you're set up as a partner, you get access again to the development stores I talked about. And this is kind of the interface it looks like. We can create our new development store. That's completely free. I've set up a couple of others in the past, but the one I want to go into is my Shopify theme webinar. That's the one I've set up for this presentation. I'll click on there and I'm already logged in. Perfect. I have full access to the Shopify platform here as if it was a paid account. I can see products. I can add products. For example, we have this jacket here. Again, this is that WYSIWYG I mentioned earlier. Again, you can format this to be a list tag. We have some other images, thumbnails. Again, these are our variants that we spoke about earlier, medium, large. But yeah, so let's get to the theming. So we're going to go on the left-hand side is the online store. If you're not familiar with it, this is where you'll find it. There's an overview of what we'll be working on. Our blog, if we want to have a blog for our clients. Static pages, again, for about us, contact page, or anything like that at all. Speak to the navigation, super easy to go in and modify those. And then domains. Like I mentioned earlier, your client can get their own custom domains if they want as well. All right, but let's get back to theming here. All right, so we go to our themes, and I already have one set up here for us. And it's very basic. And if you like a copy of it, just so it's like your own sandbox, you can certainly make that available to you as well. Let's go have a look at it. On the right-hand side, we'll see Customize Theme. And then this like eye type of icon, we'll want to click that. That's going to go view this theme. And like I said, it's not that great to look at right now, but this is, again, just to illustrate what we're looking at here. So we have a couple of products being highlighted. That looks all good. But again, this is jacket here. Let's see what that product page looks like. Okay, it doesn't look very good. We don't have any images. This is actually the title of our product. Doesn't look very good. Add to cart. So we can do a lot better. So let's start by adding a product page or a product image. What does that look like? All right, so we'll go back to where I'm just tabbing over back to where I was. And next to that eye icon we did, there's this little drop down, and it's the edit HTML/CSS. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to take us to that theme structure that we saw earlier with our layout, our theme.liquid. And when we click on it, this is a live Shopify store. And again, it's very familiar HTML to us if you've done any coding in the past. But if you go into our templates, I'm going to continue to scroll down. Again, we see some other liquid files that we didn't see earlier. Again, we have our list-collections liquid file. But then we have our product.liquid file. So this is kind of, okay, I think this is where I need to go. I learned earlier that this is how the URLs are mapped. I just need to modify one page, and it's going to populate to all the other pages. So I think this is it. And one way to get started, like I said, especially when you're in development, just play around with something. So I'm not really sure. I'm new to it. Not a problem. I see this H1 tag. I'm thinking, okay, I think this is the product title. I need to make sure. Let's just see. I'm just going to write test. And I'm going to get here prompted with saved successfully. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm just going to refresh. And yeah, just like that, I see test up here. I'm like, all right, so I'm definitely on the right page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this. I'm like, all right, so this is a test. This is definitely where I want to be. Now, I already have some of the liquid tags set up. And when I'm going to go back to my product.liquid page, I'm going to delete test because we definitely don't need it. And I have some code already copied here. I'm just going to talk to you about that. So I'm just going to copy it. And again, we'll have some list of documentations and links and everything for you where you can get some code that you can copy and paste as well. What I want is right here at the very top here. I'm going to try to see if I can make this bigger for you. We have a liquid tag. This is the first one we're seeing. And it might look a little bit complex, but I'm going to delete a couple of pieces for now so you can really pay attention to what we're doing here with this piece of liquid. All right, so I've saved it successfully. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have two curly brackets. All right, we know that we want to show an image. We want to render some text-based things or an image, reference an asset. This is how we do it. Two curly brackets. For our product, and then we have that dot syntax again that we're familiar with. And then we want our featured image for that product. So featured image of our product, essentially what we're doing there. And again, then we have this pipe, this like up and down, and then an img tag. So one of the great things about building with Liquid is that it's even going to write some of that HTML for us, so we don't really have to worry about it, which is pretty great. We're saying, hey, I just want you to show me a featured image and wrap it in the image tag too. So I'll save it. Let me go back to my theme here. I'm going to zoom back out and refresh. All right, awesome. We have a tiny image of our product. That's probably not what we're going for, but as I mentioned filters earlier in the past, we can do something actually quite awesome here. With our filters, I'm going to add this little bit of code here. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see this as clearly as possible. We have a product img URL with a colon, say large cropped. There's tons of filters you can take advantage of as well. I want to zoom back out, and what that's going to do is going to take our image and give us a larger version of that. And boom, just like that. That's pretty awesome. We have our bigger image. Again, some of these filters are really great because you can do dynamic things like without cropping your image, resizing it, re-uploading it. I personally uploaded one image for my product, and I'm going to say medium cropped. I can go back to my tabbing here, refresh, and boom, just like that, my product image is smaller and it's already being delivered through a CDN, so I don't have to worry about all that stuff. Again, if you did want to take complete control of it, you can, but with some quick filters, we can do some pretty awesome things. So I'm going to go back and leave it large. I thought it looked good. And now that I'm building my theme, I'm thinking, you know what? I think the product title should definitely go above the featured image. And one of the great things about using the online editor here is that it does all the liquid and syntax highlighting for us. So I'll save it. Again, it's just like I'm editing in any other HTML page. I'll save it and go back. All right, perfect. I have my header, my title for my product up here. Looks good. I'm familiar with some CSS, and for just while I'm building this, I'm going to do an inline style. So you know what? That could be bigger, something with font size, like 40 pixels, really big. Font size or font weight. Do bold. And again, that's being highlighted with some nice syntax highlighting. And one thing I'm going to let you in on is that don't be afraid to make any mistakes or anything like that. For example, next to this image tag over here, I, by mistake, let's say I'm editing something and I delete that closing tag. Again, we'll get a red signature that it's been, not fitted correctly, and that's fine. So I'll zoom back out and I'll save it. And boom, just like that, we get some warnings like, okay, this didn't save properly. Hey, check out line 3. We can see that at the very top. It's telling us we're missing some, there's a liquid syntax here. And of course, we know what we did wrong here. We'll just go back and add that curly bracket. Save it. Boom, just like that. Save successfully. All good. So definitely don't be discouraged by anything like that. Definitely check out some of our documentation. I'm going to refresh, and awesome. All right, great. I'm really starting to style this. I have a big header. My featured image looks really good. But I'm thinking, you know what? When I go back to my product for this jacket, I edited some images that look pretty great. I want to show those thumbnails off as well. So how do we do that? We're going to go back to our online store, our theme. Now that we're starting to get the hang of this, we kind of know where to go. I can click that triple dot icon, edit HTML, CSS, and we know we need to go back to our product.liquid page. All right, perfect. So I'm here, and again, for the interest of time, let's say I'm just going to do the thumbnails at the bottom. I already have some code here that I plan to use. Again, this is a for loop here to return our thumbnail images. So I'm just going to walk you through this quite quickly. Hopefully you can see this quite okay coming through. So let's see. Okay, so we have a product description. I'm just going to space this out a little bit so I can kind of focus what I'm looking at. And I definitely want these thumbnails to show up underneath that description. So what are we saying here? So we're going to introduce some logic, our curly bracket and our percentage sign. All right, yeah, that's how we're going to start. And we have product.images. So for the images in our product.images, and again, close it here. Oh, I made a mistake there. There we go, just like that. Put it back, a percentage sign, curly bracket. Then our for loop. If this loop has more, or if this product has more than one image, then return those images to us. And again, this looks familiar. We can put some of our output tags within our logic tags. So in this one, even at the end here, we're saying, hey, while you're even doing this, can you also write some HTML for us? And it's going to do that as well. And we saw that filter earlier, and we'll say we want these product images to be cropped small. I uploaded some pretty large files, just really wanted to be taking care of it for me. And then we're going to cycle through our image and our endif and our end4. We'll save it, save successfully. I'm going to zoom back out. Let's just go back here. And awesome. All right, if I scroll down, there are my images all the way at the bottom. They look kind of small, it looks fine, but you know what? I think those thumbnails images will look good if they were underneath the main featured image. Not a problem. Again, just like we would manipulate any other HTML and CSS, we're just going to cut it. Again, we're building all this online, really super fast. We don't need to develop our own development environment, nothing like that. We can just come in here and start editing. So I put in that for loop underneath my product images. My description is here. Let's go back to my tab and boom, awesome. My product images, or my thumbnail images are there. That's pretty awesome. You know what? I'll also add some break tag here. Again, I'm just building. This is kind of like sandbox, so certainly take the liberty to add a break tag. Kind of just start styling this a little bit. And yeah, just like that, we've added our thumbnail images to the bottom. Again, there's a lot more work to be done here, but as you can see, there's definitely a lot to take advantage of. So let's just go back here and change it. Again, we're just editing HTML, manipulating it, adding some liquid tags to really make this something dynamic. So this is a very basic theme, kind of just gives you like the bare bones. This is our main liquid file here as well if you're looking to do anything. So in our blog, again, very simple stuff. But let's say you don't want this to be your starting point, and that's completely okay. For that reason, the Shopify team has built Timber. Now, this is, as it says, the fastest and easiest way to build a Shopify theme. Why is that? Well, it's built to be responsive, which is pretty great. It just comes out of the box, and it's well documented, and it's customizable. So if you're familiar with other frameworks like Twitter's Bootstrap, or it's just Bootstrap now, you get some great things like a grid. So I'm just going to go over here and see in this documentation piece, okay, if I want to do a 1-column, 2-column, 3-column layout, I have all the grids here already set up for me. It's just a matter of really copying and pasting this into my theme. Pretty easy, or just start using it. We have some helper classes as well. Maybe you want to show things on smaller devices, maybe not show them on larger. All those helper classes are here for you. You can even do text align left, right. One of the other great parts about using Timber is that it already comes with some Shopify components. If you're looking to do some pagination, not a problem. Yeah, you can just copy and paste some of this code here, put it into your liquid template file. Super easy. If you're looking to do breadcrumbs as well, maybe your client has a lot of products. They want to have the easiest way to navigate through them. Not a problem. We have breadcrumbs here. Just take this little bit of code snippet and then we can just start using it. So it's definitely something to definitely encourage you to come in here, check it out, and install it. And best of all, it's free. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to install this Timber theme on your store, your development store. I'm going to save it. Perfect. I'm going to go back. I'm going to close this. Not using that anymore. And I'm going to go back to my themes. And at the very top, you see upload theme. All right, so I want to do that. And I want to open up my downloads folder. Again, I had it downloaded a little bit earlier as well. But what you want to do is take the files within that Timber folder you downloaded, compress them and zip them up. Don't take the root folder, take what's inside. Rename it Timber, sure, okay. Now we'll upload it, and we'll see how quickly we can get started. Downloads, perfect, Timber, there we go. Choose, upload, boom, just like that. Within a matter of seconds, we installed our new theme, and now it's down here at the bottom, Timber. And maybe you're working for a client, you can rename this later as well, not a problem. Now I'm going to publish this theme. Now, I do recommend while you're in your development sandbox area, you're developing something, definitely go ahead and do it. But if you're doing something on a live site, be sure that it's okay to do so. So we're going to publish our theme, publish. And now we'll go view it. Let's see what we get here. All right, so we have another starting point. But again, it's still very plain. Again, it's kind of a blank canvas again for you to just start building on it. We have that jacket that we looked at earlier. Looks quite good. They've certainly styled. We have breadcrumbs there. Awesome. We can also click on these thumbnails now and cycle through. And again, that's just pre-built with Timber. So something to really take advantage of. Also, now we see that same tags that we had earlier with our list tags are actually styled here. Again, something to really take advantage of. Now, let's go back and let's click Customize. I want to show you something really amazing about this. So when you hand off your theme to your client, you want to make it so that it's as easy as possible for them to make changes. For example, we don't want them really writing lines of code or seeing any code to make changes to their store. For example, maybe they want to upload a logo. We can set up theme settings. You can do choose logo, choose, and I'm going to find one. I have one set up here. Logo, and from our partner session here, and save it. And just like that, our client was able to easily upload their logo. Super easy. They could come here and change it afterwards after you have handed this off. So one thing I'm going to do is I think this could be improved by adding a header image at the very top here. I just think it would look really cool. And I also think it'd be pretty awesome if they could just come in here, click upload, change it, and change it whenever they want. So this is a great way for your client to keep their site looking fresh, especially around the holiday season. Maybe they have specials running. They want to upload a hero image here. This is where we want them to do it. So from this view, we have theme options at the top left here. We have edit HTML, CSS. And again, this is going to take us back to a familiar file structure that we saw earlier. Now, this Timber theme has a lot more liquid files that we saw earlier, and they're a little bit more populated, but certainly don't get discouraged now that we're familiar with it. We can kind of see, okay, what some of this stuff means. So if we go back to our theme.liquid file, again, we have our doc type, HTML. It's still HTML, again, with some liquid added. So what do we want to do? We want to add that hero image. And we have our assets folder, and I'm going to go to our config, and then we're going to go back to the settings_schema.json file. This is a file I mentioned earlier that I really think could be very powerful for the clients to use. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste some of the code I already had, so you don't have to sit there and watch me type this out. I'm going to copy it. I'll go back here. And again, this is just for a quick code demo. We see that it's saved successfully. What are we saying here? We're saying, okay, for our theme settings, we want to give it a label of a hero image. That's what we're doing. We're setting a type of an image. I'll increase the font size here so you can see this. So hero image for a name, type of image, our hero, our label for it will be hero image. And then we can even provide info for your client after you've handed this off. It's like, what is the ideal image size for this? So whether it's a client or you're working with your design team or anyone else, this is a good way of providing that info so that it's always there. I'm going to just go back and save it. Perfect. Now I'm going to go and preview my theme again. So let's open this in a new tab. And here we go. Okay. All right. Not much there. So, okay, let's go back. And we'll click on Customize Theme. Like, all right, this is where we want to go. And just like that, on our theme settings, we have hero image. All right, awesome. That's what we're looking for. Oh, and with just a couple lines of code, we can add our image. So winter's coming. Okay, so we've uploaded our image, saved it. Okay, awesome. The image looks like it's saved, but it's not showing up. So we know that we need to go to our home page to really add that sync and create that link. So we're going to go to our theme.liquid, and it looks familiar, a lot of HTML here, but that's fine. We really want to go and, again, that's our theme.liquid. So one thing to realize is that this is for your entire page. What we actually want to do is go to our index.liquid. That's why things probably didn't look all that familiar. Our index.liquid file will be our home page. So again, this is an H2 and it says front page title. Okay, that looks familiar. And again, like before, I'm going to just do test, save it. And I'm going to go back. That's one of the resources you just saw there that we'll speak about in a second. I'm going to customize theme again. Again, you can find it in the top right. I'll open it. And so test. All right, perfect. I'm on the right page. Definitely made the right change there. And what I'm going to do is I want that to be above that. So what's the code we'll use for that? Again, so this is going to be reference and asset. So we'll do our 2 curly brackets. Let me increase the font size here. Hopefully you can see that quite well. All right, so actually what we want is that instead of just doing a curly bracket, you know what? I actually want to write some HTML for this as a reference. I'm familiar with some HTML. You can do that here too. We'll do an image. Again, writing HTML, our source. And back when we wrote in our settings_schema file, we put in an ID, and that ID will go in here, and that's our hero.png. We're just referencing that label and ID that we had before. And just to get started is that we're going to do curly bracket. We want to reference that. So 2 curly brackets. And then we'll say this is our ID here, our PNG. Okay, this is some live coding here. Apologize for any typos. All right, so we're referencing our source. We want to close our source. Again, something familiar with, two quotation marks. And then we want to say our pipe. Again, the up and down. Stroke, then asset. And underscore URL. So essentially what we're saying is go find this ID in our assets URL. Again, it's in our assets folder. And that's why we have a flat file system, is so that Liquid can go and find out where to find that image source. And also we can do other things too. Like if we're familiar with writing HTML, we can do an alt. And again, we want to do a text-based Liquid tag here for an output. And you know what? I want my shop name to be some of the alt text here, something dynamic. All right, perfect. Looked like it saved successfully. Now let's go back and refresh. And just like that, we've referenced our settings_schema.json file, and we've dynamically added it to our home page. So now we can go back in here, and I want to replace this image now, maybe with that logo again. I can just choose. Uploads very quickly. Again, CDN based. Delivery for assets. Okay, our logo's there. That's pretty awesome. I see that it works. We have other images here, but I want to go back to that one. That's the one I set up for this. It's pretty great. We'll save it. And awesome. Just like that, our client can quickly and easily modify these changes. One of the other awesome things about using the online editor is at the very bottom left, we can see what this is going to look like on other devices. Again, everyone's using mobile devices these days, so we want to make sure that that buying experience is optimized for them as well. So we'll do a tablet view. That's awesome. I click on that and see a tab in a smaller mobile. Again, super easy way to test some of this stuff. Definitely encourage everyone to use the online editor. It's a really quick way to start building your theme. So that ends the code demo. So I'm just going to go back to my keynote presentation. We have a few minutes left, and then we'll be more than happy to take some questions. So click play. All right, so we did our code demo. We did a quick overview of Timber. Again, definitely suggest you go get it. It's absolutely free. We'll provide some links for that. Again, we looked at our theme settings. We saw how powerful that can be. This is a basic, another theme that you can get for free. It's called Brooklyn. You can install it for your development store if you want. And we saw how powerful those theme settings can be. This one, for example, you can add multiple other theme settings. You can change the color of text here. Your clients never have to see any code or try to figure out how to do that. All right, so with a few minutes left, how can you make money the Shopify way? Well, once you're signed up and as a Shopify partner, you can get some help, support to become a Shopify expert. Like I mentioned earlier, merchants are always looking for people to set up their stores for them. That's one way to make money. do something, customize their current theme, maybe install a new one, maybe build a completely brand new one. And they're always, like I said, with over 200,000 active shops, merchants are always looking for theme experts. We also have a theme store where you can host some of your themes if you're looking to sell those. That's a possible avenue. And again, we also have an affiliate program. So if your client is looking to do an e-commerce store and you bring them over to us, you get 20% of the revenue from their subscription every month. So that's another way to do it. And we have some awesome resources that we'll be sending you more links about. We have our theme documentation. Kieran has some awesome YouTube videos here that you can just watch him do some live coding as well. Very informative, all for free. Take advantage of it. We also have the Grow Book. So we have a link here, and we'll send you a link to these as well later. It's absolutely free. It helps you grow your e-commerce freelance business. A lot of great insider tips there. It's all for free. You can start reading today. And also we'll send you links to our Liquid Shopify cheat sheet. So you know all those tags we had, like shop.names, like, what are those? I don't know where to find that info. Well, we can send you to this cheat sheet here. You can find an array of them. For example, like product.title. You can do other things as well. And there is some logic there you can take advantage of. And we have the partner blog. Learn from other Shopify partners. They're constantly writing posts, tips, and tricks. In this case, I recently wrote an article on how to theme your Shopify store for the holiday season. Again, we added even like a Santa Claus hat there to the cart, which is pretty funny, but people like it. So another way to get people excited for the shopping season. Again, always tons of tips and tricks. And we'll be doing other more partner sessions as well. With maybe a more detailed, in-depth with theming. So we'll definitely appreciate your feedback, what we can do next. So as for next steps, look out for an email from us. We'll be sending you a lot of resources and ways for you to get in contact with us, and we'll appreciate any of your feedback that you have. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a great interest. We had over like 600 people sign up. We had a lot of people attend here as well. So thank you very much. And you're probably tired of hearing me speak, so I'm going to open it up to some Q&A, and I'm going to close down my presentation. And Kier, how was that?
Hello. Very good. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Levin. Thank you for running us through all that. I've been busy answering questions.
Okay.
We've had a whole bunch of them. Thank you for everyone who's dropped one in there. Apologies for my confusion over what I thought was chat. We'll know moving forward. Hopefully, well, I think I've done about 20 or 30 answers, but what we're going to do is take all of these afterwards and round those up into sort of group them together, and then hopefully answer all of your questions for you. So do look out for a post on our partner blog for that. But I'd just like to go over a few that I have answered and maybe qualify some of the comments that have come through. So one of the ones here from Gregory Kendall is not fond of the flat file system for assets folders. Yeah, and I get that. We get that a lot at workshops. A lot of people, myself included, would normally throw a folder in there for images, for JavaScript, for CSS, etc., or a compilation folder for your SAS files and that kind of thing. Yeah, and I agree. It can be tedious finding files. What I try to do there is just be a little bit creative with the file name. So I'll maybe prefix something for a theme image or for a background, things like that. It's not ideal, but it just gives you that kind of little bit of kind of visual way of identifying what purpose an image has. Is there a possibility to reorder them by extension? Again, I work locally. We didn't really cover that today, but we will be in future, ways of working locally against a development store and things like that. So obviously, if I'm on a Mac, so using Finder, I can just sort them that way. But yeah, I get what everyone's saying around that one. The main reason for that is just for the CDN. We just have a way just of chucking all the assets for your particular theme onto the CDN, and that's the way that it was set up. So that was that one. Let's have a look at some others. Oh yeah, one that cropped up a couple of times. Spencer Reisman asked this one. How can we add classes or styling to the generated HTML? I know that you demoed the featured image there and used the image tag filter. The simple answer to that is you don't use the image tag filter. So effectively, what you do is you just build up the source element that will give you the fully qualified URL to that particular asset, and then you can wrap that in your own image element and just declare the source equals, and then open up your liquid double curly braces for that, and you can add data attributes or classes or whatever you want that way. So just by using less liquid and writing a little bit more HTML, you can add that class there. It's a pretty common pattern that you'll find in most themes. We just have helpers such as the image tag to make life a little bit easier should you want to. Let's find some others. Ollie Rhodes asked about recommending royalty-free images for use in the theme. That's a good one. Funnily enough, we launched, did a blog post on that where I rounded out, I think it was about 11 services, the 11th of which is kind of an aggregator for the previous 10. That's on the partner blog.
Yeah, so let me see if I can actually bring that up for us. Real quick.
One thing some people do if they're demoing stores is, and they have a favorite, supplier of things, that you can often just drop them a note and see if you can use their images. We are also looking into, and you can all hold us accountable because I'm going to say it now, building out some importers that will give you a fully fledged store just from the CSV. So, and that would include images. So let's say you wanted an apparel store, you would be able to just grab that file, and then that would populate a demo store, a dev store with all those images for you. We appreciate that's one of the kind of time-consuming elements to setting up a dev store, actually adding products and content. So we're looking to get on the case and solve that one for you in the new year. Can you use Timber on a PC? Yes, you can use it. It's cross-platform. It's simply HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and Liquid. So it really doesn't matter what platform you're developing on.
And yeah, Kara just brought up one of the links there for the stock images.
Oh, very good.
Definitely, definitely go to the partner blog. We'll send you a link to that and search it. There's some really great resources there.
Another question on about custom product templates. Yes, again, we didn't cover this today because this really was that kind of intro to Shopify theming, but it's possible to have an unlimited number of product templates. There's two ways that you, once you've created them, you can create them in the admin, or if you're building locally, it's simply a case of doing product dot and then a unique identifier dot liquid, and that will sort of set it up as a custom product template. You can pick them off on a product by product basis within the admin, so your client could go in and just pick off a different template for a different product, or you can use Liquid to automatically load a particular template depending on a certain attribute, such as the product handle. So you could say something like, product.handle contains t-shirt, then you could use Liquid to load in a different template. But that creates a little more code and a little bit of a different setup, but that's something that I think I've covered on the YouTube videos, or if not in the blog, but we can certainly go over that one. Let's have a look at some others. Someone asked if the theme that you're using was a skeleton theme, which some of you, if you've been using Shopify for a while, might know as a kind of precursor to Timber. It wasn't actually. It's just a very super simple theme that I host on GitHub, really just for demos, just so that you can see the markup and Liquid without too much other fanciness going on. So I'll send a link out to that if anyone wants to use it. It's
a funny name you gave it, Kerry. You called it Birthday Suit. That's pretty funny.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
I think we have a couple of people with their hands raised. Should we try to maybe?
We could try. Let's try that then.
Yeah, let's go see. We'll be brave. We have. Let's see. Oh, it went away. There we go. Serena, let me see. I'll just give you mic access. Let's just see. Unmute Serena. Do you have a question for us? Maybe we can go to the Windows pane here. No, I think she dropped off there. Okay. Any other questions? I think we might have some other ones here. We have. Let's see. Let's find the next hand raised in order. Maybe we'll try that. Oh, Serena's back. No, maybe she can't hear us. Maybe she can't get it to work. So that's. We'll mute her. Let's go down the list. Verel Peters. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correct. You've been unmuted. Do you have a question?
No, sorry. I think I accidentally hit the hand raise icon. Sorry.
That's all right. Thanks a lot. I'll just meet you again. Thanks for attending.
Go on, Levin, third time lucky.
Yes, third time's a charm. Right. Let's go see who's the lucky winner. Nicholas Gibbs. Oops. Let's see. Unmute. Hey, Nicholas.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, superb. Thank you for this, by the way. It's very, very informative. Brilliant.
Awesome.
It was more, to be honest, I'm not really a coder, but I'm trying to just pretty much find as much code information as I can. I've done some basic HTML stuff, and obviously I have a Shopify web platform that I'm now obviously just trying to like sort of investigate this liquid code as much as possible, as quick as possible. So the question for me won't be particularly technical, but it would be more along the lines of where I can find the best resources for information.
Right.
To start building my knowledge base.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah. I'll give Levin a break. I think there's the documentation in the Shopify docs is pretty extensive. We'll also send out a list of some articles. Actually, I wrote three articles sort of called "Getting Started with Liquid for Shopify Themes" on Tuts Plus.
Okay.
And that takes you through kind of how Liquid, because Liquid's used in a whole bunch of platforms now. It's open source. It was created by the founder of Shopify, but it's used in a lot of platforms. So there's quite a bit of Liquid documentation out there, but I'd certainly have a look at that Tuts Plus one, and we'll make sure to put a link in the email that we follow up with, because that does guide you through from the basics right to some advanced features. It's something we're aware of as well. We'll be publishing more Liquid-specific knowledge to the partner blog starting in January as well. So yeah, there's also a whole bunch of videos that I did, if you can bear the sound of my voice for about 3 hours on the Shopify YouTube channel. The admin looks different now because it's obviously been updated, but the majority, or if not all, of the Liquid stuff is still absolutely relevant and the same. So that will kind of guide you through. They're kind of bite-sized, sort of 5-6 minute videos.
Okay, cool. And Nicholas, one quick thing I'll do here. If you go back to the themes once you're set up with the Shopify partner, you can go visit the theme store here. And one good way of learning is to kind of see what other people have done. So Shopify theme team just recently released a new theme. It's free. So if you go in here and I'll say install theme, I'll publish it as my shop's theme. It'll just take a few minutes. But essentially when it's fully downloaded and installed, you can kind of go and learn kind of like what's been done, copy and paste some code into maybe your other development store and so on. Just kind of learn by like playing around. If you go to a theme manager, like if we go to customize theme, for example, for this one, it's a beautiful theme here. We go customize theme. We can really see all the powerful things that they've done here. And then you just go edit in HTML, CSS, and just go and play around, have a look through it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've made a copy of my my Shopify shop already. I mean, my shop's actually working and it's actually active at the moment.
Awesome.
So I do have a copy that I'm sort of just trying to play around with, but I think as you were saying earlier before, not to be scared, just to get
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. All right, thanks, Nicholas. I'm gonna just unraise. Thanks for attending. I'm gonna lower your hand. I'm gonna go to try to find someone else.
Okay, while you do that, I'll just got one question in here from Brett Krause. I hope I've said that right. Just to distinguish a couple of things, what's the difference between index.liquid and theme.liquid? What's the difference between keeping files such as images in assets versus uploading them in settings files? I'll go with the last one, the last element of that first, if I may. Basically, when you upload something through theme settings, it does get added to the assets folder for that particular theme. As the name suggests, it's very relevant to that particular theme. So if you swap the theme, that asset will not be available to the store. Unlike product images, which stay with the store regardless of the theme that you apply, anything that you add either manually or through your theme or through theme settings is related to that particular theme and will stay in the assets folder. So there's no real difference. It's just how they're added, and obviously your client can change that image. So every new image that they add, say for a hero, will always have the same name. So they're literally just overwriting it, and you can set that up in that JSON file. The difference between index.liquid and theme.liquid, basically as Levin explained, the theme.liquid is the default layout file, and I always describe that as kind of like the site furniture, everything in one file. And index.liquid is what I often describe as kind of a micro template, which you can then just plug in to where that content for layout is within that file. So the advantage there is you're just dealing with much smaller amounts of HTML for those little smaller templates, and you're just kind of wrapping everything that's common to the whole site around it with that one file. You can have multiple layout files as well. They live in the layout folder, as Levin said, and they're very easy to apply. You can either do that by designating a curly bracket percentage layout and then the name of that file without .liquid extension, or you can programmatically do it. So fundamentally, theme.liquid is kind of the all-encompassing master template for a theme, and then index would be rendered when you hit the root of your store in that instance. So hopefully that answers that one. Do we have someone else on the line, as they say?
I think we have Olia. I'm just going to unmute you.
Let's give it a go.
Hello. Oh, I don't think they have a mic set up.
Oh, shame.
Positive green.
You're not having a good hit rate here, Levin.
No. Okay, we have Alex. Hannah? Unmute. Hey, Alex. Let's see if we get back.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for doing this. This is awesome. I got kind of a two-part question. One, we're kind of struggling to customize the thank you page or the checkout page. Could you guys elaborate on maybe what the options are for that? Because I understand there was some, I don't know, maybe it's changed recently, but there were some issues around like compliance reasons why you couldn't customize the look and feel of like a thank you page. And then the second question I had was, are there any developer conferences or any kind of maybe like an advanced theme go-to webinar or something on the horizon that you guys would maybe suggest for developers who are kind of wrestling with some more advanced things?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously when checkout changed last year, some substantial changes were made to the amount of access you can have to kind of that flow. I'd need to just double check on where exactly we are. I haven't actually looked for a while in depth on the thank you page, so if you'll permit me, we'll take a note and answer that as one of the questions in the blog post, if that's okay. But to answer your second part around advanced sort of workshops, we ran a test one with one of our Shopify experts called Gavin Ballard earlier this year, and that was really successful, and that looked a lot more at kind of liquid and workflow and JavaScript and Ajax and things like that. So we do plan to do some more, and they may well take the form of a webinar like this or an in-person workshop around one of the events that we support sort of in the UK. Where are you based?
In Virginia. The big thing we're looking for is just somewhere we can go to bounce ideas off of folks. And then as far as the checkout thing goes, we're just trying to embed a video as part of the page. So that was kind of the question.
Yeah, no, good to know. If that's okay, I'll double check where we are with that and reply to you. If you could just drop me an email to Keir, Keir @shopify.com, and then I'll make sure that I'll get back to you personally on that, if that's all right. But yeah, we'll definitely be touching on more advanced liquid either on the blog or in some workshops. But again, if you've got anything specific, feel free to connect, and we'll do our best to help. But yeah, maybe there's another way. If you've got, maybe we could just do a Q&A webinar and get some experts online. So that's a really good idea. We'll certainly think to that.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Should we take one more, because I'm conscious we're just running over a little bit, but there's some great questions just to say that people have posted, and we will pull them all down, as I say, and sort of group them together and answer the best ones. There's a lot around workflow and sort of source control, so if you've asked one of those, again, really great questions, and we will answer those. For anyone who's asked whether they'll be able to rewatch this, absolutely, we'll cut the video down and send you a link to that.
Yeah. I think we have Henry.
Okay.
Let's unmute Henry. Hey, Henry.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, we can hear you.
How you doing? Yeah, just a quick question. I'm editing a theme. It's a simple jewellery site. I'm digging through the theme, and I'm trying to find the You know when you allow a product to be purchased that isn't in stock, and it says pre-order. I'm just trying to find that piece of text and change it to make to order.
Ah, okay. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it could be in the language files. Some of these, if you can go into, yeah, if you have a look, Levin's having a quick look in there.
The locales folder.
Yeah, there's an interface to that. It's relatively new where you can go in and edit those.
I think it's here. You can use a theme language editor.
Yeah, have a look in there.
All right, here we go.
It could be in products. It could be in that one. I'm not sure.
Products. What's the text again? Sorry, we're looking for.
Is that the full page? Add to cart back.
Mm-hmm. Sold out. Maybe change it there.
Sold out, maybe. Yeah, so we'll double check on that one for you because that's another great question. Yeah, we'll find out and let you know. That's another good one.
Yeah. Thanks, Keir. So it's not in code. It's not in a template. It's sort of in the framework.
If you can send me a link to what you're working on, or just wrap up your theme as a zip file, I'll probably just be easier to have a look, and then I can just drop you a note back if that's cool with you.
Thanks, Keir. We'll do.
Yeah,
Thanks
we'll
a
get
lot.
to the bottom of it. No worries.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool.
How about we try one more, Keir, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay, one more.
Because we started 5 minutes a little bit late, so let's get. We have a couple people raise their hands, so I'd love to just get one more. Vitaly, if I'm pronouncing that right. As I say, you're on the air. Hello. Hello. Nope. No. All right.
Yeah, one more. Go on.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's go.
Let's see what we can do.
See if we can find one more person that has raised their hand. Don't want to leave anyone out. Let's go back to the top. Again, there's one from the top here. I think Serena we tried earlier. Mohammed, I think. Let's just go and see. Hey, Mohammed, can you hear us?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Really appreciate you guys taking this time. That's great. I'm actually on the other side of the fence. I'm a total beginner. I think I maybe sent an email to Keir earlier.
Okay.
But my question is, of course, I have to study a lot of HTML and CSS and all that stuff too. But it's really regarding to like signing up for the partner program. I was trying to do that last night, and they were asking for certain like PayPal information. Is that like a requirement?
Yeah, it's principally because of the referral program that we offer. So every time that you would bring on a new store, we give you 20% of their monthly bill to Shopify. So the way that that's repatriated to you is through PayPal. So currently that is a required field. But we are looking at potentially in the future changing that. So yeah, unfortunately, if you will need a PayPal account, I believe, to sign up.
Yeah. So I don't really. I'm kind of like new to all this. So like PayPal, like does it have to be connected to my bank account? Is that how it works, or?
No, you can just create. I'll be honest. I set mine up a long time ago, but I believe that you can just create a PayPal account and use it that way, and you can link it. You can also link it to bank accounts, so that if people fundamentally pay you, you can pull it down to your bank account, or you can just keep the credit in PayPal and spend it that way.
Yeah, it's definitely free. Last time I looked here, I did one recently. It's free. But you do bring up a good question with this contact form here. For example, like GST, HST number.
Right.
You don't need to fill that out. Like there aren't all these fields aren't necessarily required. But yeah, you do need a PayPal account, and it should be free. I don't think you're required to make a deposit right away.
No.
So so you can just certainly go and create one for free and get started. It's definitely it's definitely a good like good feedback that you wanted to set one up. I mean a development store. It's definitely a good way to get started.
Other question I have is a friend of mine. They have a retail like a tennis boutique store, and they currently have a website. It's based on Couch CMS, I believe.
Okay.
But it's I mean it's not really they just have their products like on the website, but they're not able to sell it online right now. So they were just looking for some help, kind of convert things over. And they currently do have a Shopify account, so like they have a POS in their store. So if they convert over, like on the Shopify, e-commerce platform, can I technically still get like the 20%?
It'd be worth, like, once you've signed up for the partner program, just having a conversation with your partner manager. It's normally moving forward. It's with the new stores. So technically no.
Right, okay.
It's really for new stores, but it's always worth having a chat.
Yeah, sure. So then, once I sign up, there'll be a partner manager, like, who will be in touch with me, kind of thing, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's broken into regions. So there's a whole bunch of partner managers, and their job is to kind of get to know you, help you, work with you, help you get over any hurdles to working with us, working with the Shopify platform, and yeah, just sort of making you feel part of the ecosystem and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Mohammed. Thanks for that question.
Well, I really think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
How many have we got left here?
139. I think they're still captivated. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone who joined us. I hope you found it useful. As I said at the top of the webinar, we will download this recording, edit it, make it available for you all afterwards. We'll also answer, and I've got to be honest, there's some amazing questions. There's a lot of them. So this may take the form of 2 or 3 blog posts, but it also gives us a lot of things to cover in the future. So this has been really helpful. So if you did post into the questions there, we really appreciate it. Apologies. Someone asked why I haven't answered their question. It's not personal, I promise you. There are literally about 200 here, so I just picked and chose the relevant ones. But yeah, we will get back to you on all these. So yes, we'll be in touch. Thanks again for your time, and do feel free to let's have any feedback on anything once we send you that email. And yeah, hope you'll join the partner program and start making some great stores. Thanks for listening and watching.